For more than 2,000 years, one story has captivated historians, explorers, philosophers, and dreamers alike. The legend is known around the world as Atlantis, a city whose name has become synonymous with mystery, ambition, and one of history's greatest unanswered questions. Unlike many myths passed down through oral tradition, the story of Atlantis can be traced to a single ancient source that has survived for more than 2 millennia. That source was the Greek philosopher Plato, whose writings introduced Atlantis to the world more than 2,300 years ago. In 2 of his famous dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, Plato described an extraordinary island civilization that supposedly existed long before his own time. According to Plato, Atlantis was more than a beautiful island. It was a powerful maritime empire with remarkable wealth, advanced engineering, and unmatched influence across the known world. Plato described Atlantis as an island blessed with fertile land, abundant natural resources, and a strategic location that made it one of the most prosperous civilizations of its age. At the heart of the island stood a magnificent capital, carefully designed with concentric rings of land and water, unlike anything seen in the ancient world. Its engineers were said to have constructed impressive harbours, canals, and public buildings that reflected remarkable planning and craftsmanship. According to Plato, the island's rulers governed a wealthy society where trade, agriculture, and maritime power flourished together. Their influence extended far beyond the island itself, reaching neighbouring lands through commerce, diplomacy, and naval strength. Whether Plato intended Atlantis to be remembered as history or as a moral lesson remains one of the greatest debates among historians today. According to Plato, Atlantis existed nearly 9,000 years before his own lifetime, making it far older than the civilizations of classical Greece. He claimed the story had been preserved through generations before eventually reaching him from Egyptian priests. Whether this account reflected real history or philosophical storytelling remains one of archaeology's most enduring mysteries. In Plato's account, Atlantis grew into an empire of immense prosperity, commanding powerful fleets and expanding its influence across distant lands. Yet Plato warned that extraordinary wealth and power slowly changed the character of its people. As greed and arrogance replaced wisdom and virtue, the fate of Atlantis, according to Plato, was about to change forever. Plato described Atlantis as one of the most sophisticated civilizations of the ancient world, a society where architecture, engineering, and governance flourished together. Its canals connected every part of the city, allowing commerce, transportation, and daily life to flow with remarkable efficiency. Skilled craftsmen transformed stone, bronze, and precious metals into monuments that reflected both artistic beauty and engineering excellence. The city's magnificent temples were said to honor the gods while demonstrating the wealth and ambition of its rulers. Beyond its impressive buildings, Atlantis was portrayed as a society built upon discipline, organization, and remarkable prosperity. To later generations, Atlantis came to symbolize the ultimate vision of a perfect civilization, powerful, prosperous, and seemingly invincible. According to Plato, prosperity gradually transformed the people of Atlantis. As generations passed, wisdom gave way to pride. The rulers of Atlantis were no longer satisfied with protecting their kingdom. They sought to extend their influence across neighboring lands and seas. Plato wrote that the empire's growing ambition eventually brought it into conflict with other powerful civilizations, including ancient Athens. Rather than celebrating cooperation, Atlantis became a symbol of unchecked ambition, a civilization convinced that its power would never fade. For Plato, the story of Atlantis was not only about a powerful kingdom, it was also a warning that even the greatest civilizations could fall when pride replaced virtue. Then, according to Plato, everything changed. In a single, catastrophic day and night, the legendary island disappeared beneath the sea. Plato described the end of Atlantis with remarkable simplicity. After years of prosperity and power, nature unleashed a catastrophe unlike anything its people had ever experienced. The ground began to tremble beneath the city, sending shockwaves through temples, homes, and towering monuments. Moments later, enormous waves surged toward the island, overwhelming the carefully engineered harbors that had once symbolized Atlantis' greatness. Buildings that had stood proudly for generations began collapsing under the combined force of earthquakes and rising water. Within hours, according to Plato, the once magnificent capital was consumed by the sea. By the following morning, the legendary island was said to have vanished completely beneath the waves. For centuries, people wondered whether Atlantis had truly existed or whether Plato had created the story as a powerful philosophical allegory. Throughout history, explorers, historians, and archaeologists have searched across oceans and continents for evidence that might reveal the truth. Some researchers have suggested that Plato may have been inspired by real natural disasters, remembered through generations before becoming legend. One of the most discussed possibilities is the Bronze Age eruption of Thera, now known as Santorini, one of the largest volcanic events in human history. The massive eruption devastated nearby civilizations and may have inspired stories of a prosperous society suddenly destroyed by the sea. Yet despite decades of research, no archaeological discovery has conclusively proven that Plato's Atlantis ever existed as he described it. For more than a century, countless expeditions have searched for Atlantis in oceans, seas, and ancient coastlines across the world. One of the most popular theories places Atlantis near the Greek island of Santorini, where a catastrophic volcanic eruption reshaped the ancient world. Others have searched the Atlantic Ocean, believing the lost city may lie beneath thousands of meters of water beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Another hypothesis points towards southern Spain, where archaeological discoveries have revealed traces of sophisticated ancient settlements. Some researchers have even explored the Azores, Malta, and other regions once thought capable of matching Plato's description. Each discovery has generated excitement, yet none has provided the conclusive evidence needed to confirm the existence of Atlantis. Modern archaeology depends on physical evidence, and extraordinary claims require equally extraordinary proof. Until such evidence is found, Atlantis remains suspended between history, legend, and human imagination. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not where Atlantis was located, but why its story has endured for more than 2,000 years. Its enduring appeal reminds us that humanity has always been drawn to stories that challenge the boundary between fact and imagination. Today, most historians agree that there is no definitive evidence proving Atlantis existed exactly as Plato described. Whether Atlantis was a real place, an ancient memory transformed by time, or simply a philosophical lesson, its influence on human imagination, perhaps that is the true legacy of Atlantis. Not the search for a lost city, but the enduring desire to understand our own past. Every civilization leaves behind stories. Some are preserved in stone, others in written records, and a few survive only through legend. The story of Atlantis reminds us that history is not only about discovering answers, but also about asking better questions. As technology advances and new discoveries emerge, the mystery of Atlantis may continue to evolve, revealing new perspectives rather than final answers. Until then, Atlantis remains one of humanity's greatest mysteries, a story balanced delicately between history, philosophy, and imagination. Thank you for watching Timeless Chronicles. If you enjoyed this journey through history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for our next adventure into the past.